So today I'm going to recap a trade that we took in QQQ. We added the 347 puts around midday, and those ultimately wound up running about 450 to 500%. So we're going to go ahead and recap the thinking behind that trade and how it played out. So just from a macro standpoint, we've got the Fibonacci retracements here planned out. I'm taking my Fibonacci retracements from the high on December 28th, which is really what started this most recent downturn. So 404.58 down to the market bottom on January 24th at 334.15. And so these Fibonacci retracement levels, as we know, we're just going to plot some levels for us on the upside where we could expect to see some resistance as the stock tries to retrace back to these previous highs. As you can see here, after we got the bounce off of the lows on 124, we wound up rejecting the 50 retracement level here before ultimately coming down, consolidating a little bit, rejecting once more, and now we're back below the 236. And so today, coming into today, we had a massive sell-off on Friday, as you can see right here. I'll go ahead and jump onto the 5-minute chart for us. And what I can do is I'll draw a time stamp just so that we could see exactly where we are, if I remember how to do that. I think it's like this. Yes, it is. There we go. So over here is Friday. As you can see on Friday, we had this massive sell-off and we had this 236 area acting as resistance into the end of the day. We got two tests here, ultimately could not break through it, and then flushed to the end of the day. And so this was my level on the upside of resistance that I was looking for to find some selling pressure today. And that's ultimately exactly what happened. And so you can see that we opened and really a continuation of the price action from Friday, right? We see some chop here, really non-directional, and we can't really determine the direction. I noticed that during the beginning of the day, and I decided to lay off until we decided to pick a direction, right? And so we started to rally a little bit here, but as you could see, the rally had low volume. The volume was decreasing more or less the entire morning, and it was just low overall relative to Friday. In addition to that, we didn't really see violent price movement, and so that made me feel that there may be some fatigue settling in after bulls working so hard all morning to really only get a $2 move. And that's one of the first things that had me keyed into puts. Once we got this rejection here at 1230 off my 236 fib level, that was my second piece of conviction. The price rejected and immediately broke below my 821 EMAs. The 821 EMAs I'm going to use as an indicator of short-term momentum, right? And so when the stock is below that, they're going to act as resistance. We break below the 821 EMAs here. Get a retest in this candle right here and ultimately reject. I added right here at 1:14 in the afternoon Eastern time, so right below the EMAs. This was now the second test of the EMAs. You can see we break through, test the EMAs, fail, test the EMAs again. I entered on this candle. Ultimately, we wound up failing. I don't have VWAP up on this chart, but I'll actually bring it up for you guys really quick because that's where I scaled out of some of the position. So just to get a zoom in, entered in this candle, scaled out about right here. I did get some significant help from the news headline, which winded up coming out to be false, that Russian military units were essentially leaving their artillery stations and heading to attack positions. Obviously, that gave the market a little bit of a scare. Actually came out, that news came out like just a few minutes after my ads, and the stock ultimately winded up, breaking down for about a 5-point drop from my entry. Scaled out a bunch at VWAP, scaled out a little bit more as we broke VWAP and really began to flush. And I think that we netted 150, 200%. And like I said, the runners at maximum went about 450, 500%. And so that just goes to show that your entries on these options trades are going to be so important, particularly when you're playing 0 DTEs. We happened obviously to get a lucky news break, but at the same time, the entry here is key. The fact that we were able to get in under the EMAs, is really what made me want to add here. So yeah, that's how that one went.